Greetings, Rigil Agateiades here, and today we're reviewing a mobile suit that either pisses your teammates off real hard, or pisses off your enemies even harder. Today's mobile suit has one concept in mind: information warfare. Revealing enemies while shutting down their radars, this mobile suit gives your team an unparalleled informational edge. But when you think about it, do we even need that in the first place? This is the mobile suit who has put everything into gathering information, but only discovering later that what we need is a bigger gun instead, the 400 cost support type, Eye-Zack. Now before we get to how I dealt with that problem, let's first go over what makes the Eye-Zack such a unique mobile suit. The signature weapon on the Eye-Zack is the recon sensor AoE. In the click of a button, this weapon reveals all enemies within a whopping 450 meters range while giving them a hard radar shutdown. This not only allows your team to position accordingly to get a 30% typing advantage, but with the hard radar shutdown, your opponent loses even the observational data link from their support, so your opponents cannot respond to your team's movements until it's too late. As if that's not enough, this recon sensor also has a camera gun mode. Find the enemy raid type with the AoE, hit him with the camera gun, and the whole of China knows he's there. There is a trade-off for this informational edge, however. When classic support types come with the most, if not the biggest guns to stagger at range, the Eye-Zack does not get any of that. Instead, it gets a grenade and a choice between the Marasai beam rifle or a machine gun for its main weapon. And that's it. Yep, despite being a support type whose role is supposed to be dishing out staggers from a distance, the Eye-Zack has either one instant stagger or none at all. That is a huge problem. Revealing the enemy team is good, but with no staggers at all, there's nothing you can do when a teammate is getting smacked other than streaming it in 4K. You also have no self-defense whatsoever, making this mobile suit often a team burden instead. So to avoid being nothing more than a frontline photographer, you really have to make use of the other strengths of this mobile suit. First of all is mobility. Unlike traditional support types, the Eye-Zack's mobility is nothing less than that of a general type. Definitely make use of this to avoid getting caught, but what's even more important to the Eye-Zack's survival is its stealth. With stealth level 2, the Eye-Zack is surprisingly hard to catch. Stop attacking and you disappear from the radar, allowing you to reposition safely, or occasionally skipping a death in a losing wave. Use these two aspects properly and the Eye-Zack is no longer a burden for your team. But they're still down a man, so we need to do something else to compensate for the lack of staggers. And for that, we'll have to talk about the machine gun. What we have may just be a Zaku Machine Gun, but this is no Zaku boy, no Zaku. By putting on every bit of range attack we can muster, the raw damage this machine gun can do is nothing to scoff at. 47 range attack and ranged specialized program lets us do almost 300 damage per shot on the Aqua Gym Dominance. Unload all 40 shots in the mag and that's over 10,000 damage! But it's not just raw damage. The stagger on this custom Zaku Machine Gun is also much higher than the old 100 cost weapon. While each shot still only comes with 8% stagger, the fire rate on the custom Zaku Machine Gun is almost twice as high, so it actually staggers in an acceptable 2 seconds. Not so reliable in self-defense as you can't control when it'll stagger, but keep firing and it might happen at just the right time. With this, using the Eye-Zack looks simple. All you have to do is to hold down the trigger and take pictures occasionally. Yes, that's what you're doing at the top level, but there's one more incredibly important thing to do that isn't so obvious: picking the right spot. With little stagger or burst damage, the Eye-Zack cannot fight in traditional support type locations. It needs to be close enough to be in range, yet far enough to keep the enemies off him. There's only one condition where that happens, and that's taking the high ground. By taking the high ground like this one on Arctic Base, our enemies are occupied by our teammates down below while we rain bullets and grenades from above. Even when they finally get time to care about us, they're not making their way up the ramps under our machine gun fire. The other reason to take the high ground is your grenades. These grenades don't stagger, but they come with pretty good damage. Having the high ground makes them way easier to hit, something important if you're using the Marasai beam rifle instead, which has a horrible 7-second cooldown. Definitely squeeze those grenades in between each shot, or if you're using the machine gun when you're reloading. Even that only takes 6 seconds, by the way. In case it's not obvious enough, the Eye-Zack is 100% a team player. Without teammates, it can't do anything meaningful, but some mobile suits actually work better with the Eye-Zack than others, and my favorite is the Duelist. With incredible durability and sheer melee power, what's scarier than a giant metal gorilla is one that you can't see coming. With the radar shutdown on the recon sensor AoE, press off a button and the Duelist disappears from the enemy radar. You also directly identify the enemies for him, so he can easily pick a target to land that crippling charge attack. And it's not just from my perspective, here's what a Duelist user also said. But the supporting capabilities of the Eye-Zack isn't limited to its recon sensor. There are a whole suite of passive skills that's working quietly while you're holding down that machine gun. First of all is the skill High Performance Radar. Usually this is a quality of life improvement, but on the Eye-Zack this is crucial as it puts its observational data link to work from up to 450 meters. It also matches the range of the recon sensor AoE, so as long as you can see your target on the radar, you know he's in jamming range. The other skills that's working quietly are anti-stealth and anti-jamming, both at level 3. With this, nothing can hide from the Eye-Zack's radar other than another Eye-Zack. Even the Agateiades, which is usually a tremendous threat with stealth and those monstrous tentacles, gets nullified entirely as he's hunted down like a glowing squid. The only skill that didn't make sense to me on this list is Precision Analysis System. Yes, it's the skill that lets you spot enemies, but I'm sure you wouldn't mind increasing that 3% damage bonus. That was the Eye-Zack, the mobile suit that's less a cameraman with a machine gun, but a machine gun with a cameraman on it. Its information gathering tools are superior to even higher cost recon mobile suits, but in the end, this game is all about having the bigger gun. Putting everything onto the custom Zaku Machine Gun, play to maximize the damage you can get out of it, stay alive by taking the good positions, and maybe your teammates will forget about the fact that you don't stagger at all. That's it from me today. GG's to our Gyoguk and Duelist, and laters.